get started. Okay, right. So this evening, if you've got a block and a bolster nearby, that's going to be handy. But if you don't, we can work around that. We're going to start with some grounding, as we always do, and then some pranayama to just bring us back into our Sunday evening. So when you're ready, just find a comfortable seat, any shape that works for you. You can be on a chair, on the floor, whatever works. And allow your hands to rest, palms facing upwards this evening. So receiving energy from our surroundings. Allow your shoulders to drop. Allow your shoulder blades to draw slightly together. So you've got breath through the chest. Hold yourself in this quite formal setup. And then allow the formality to drift away as you sink into your seat, closing your eyes, relaxing your jaw. Notice the depth of your breath right now. Are you breathing just in your chest? Or are you using your diaphragm to pull the breath in deep down into the lungs? I'm going to start this evening with golden thread breath, really beautiful, calming pranayama. Helps you bring focus and just a gentle energy to your body, to your mind. Let's start with a sigh together. Breathe in through your nose and exhale fully. Seal your lips and start breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then exhale through the mouth gently, imagining that your breath is like this golden thread gently being drawn from the lungs. Once you've released all of your exhales, seal your lips, breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Part your lips and allow the breath to escape. Continue like this, inhaling through your nose for a count of 5 and exhaling gently, steadily through your lips. As you continue to breathe this way, notice any sounds that are filtering into your head. Passing traffic, perhaps a bird. A gentle buzz of outside. Take another couple of breaths like this. Once you finish that second breath, seal your lips unless you're feeling a little bungs up and you can breathe through the lips. Allow your breath to be really long. Find the end of your inhale and the end of your exhale every time you breathe. Keep your body as it is, but allow your head and neck to start moving just in ways that they want to. Maybe it's a gentle nod or a shake. Maybe you're making circles. Notice if your shoulders are tempted to draw closer to the ears as you do this. Try and resist that temptation. And come back to stillness with your head. You might suddenly notice how heavy it is. Open your eyes, but keep your gaze soft. Let's begin in Gomukhasana, cow face. So we're going to take the right knee underneath the left knee. So it's a tight cross-legged shape. And remember, this can look like this with the left foot on top of the right thigh, like this with the left knee stacked on top of the right knee, or like this with the right leg extended and the left knee on top. It just depends what's happening in your hips this evening. If you're feeling really comfortable in this shape, you might want to move your feet up a little closer to the top of your mat. And then from here, we're going to sit as tall as we can. Your hands can be on the feet, on the knees, or just by the sides of the body. And if you're finding this is really uncomfortable in the spine, so if you find that your back is kind of falling backwards, then sit on a wee cushion or a block. I was just enjoying the sound of the birds so much, I forgot to put music on. I'll do that in a wee second. So from here, get your head nice and tall towards the sky. And we'll start with a very brief, slightly more active version of this shape. So reach your arms up to the sky as high as they'll go, and then push your sit bones down to the floor as you do that. So you're feeling the side body lengthen, you're feeling your hips really stretch out. Then bend into both of your elbows like this. Nice. And as you inhale, reach your arms up to the sky one more time. And this time we're going to bend the right elbow only and take your right hand to the space behind either your neck or between your shoulder blades, depending where it goes. Then sweep your left hand around the back of the body and snuggle your left hand, back of the left hand, on the lower back, maybe up the shoulder blades. You can grab onto your t-shirt here, or if you've got quite long arms or open shoulders, you might be able to reach your fingers towards one another. We'll only be here for about 5 breaths, so try not to kind of desperately reach. Remember, we want this to be a sustainable shape. So if your fingers are far away from each other, don't worry about it. And from here, you're just going to take a gentle rock, maybe from side to side, maybe forwards and backwards. Couple more breaths like this. Nice. Good. And then release your hands from where they are, and you're going to walk the hands forward in front of you. So they might come to a bolster or maybe the floor. You'll feel a big rush of heat coming into the body after that first shape. Nice. So taking a forward fold, but with your legs the same if possible. Nice. Allow your head and neck to soften here. So head is heavy, neck is long. Yeah, lovely use of your bolster, Chloe. Keeping yourself low, walk your hands over to the right hand side, maybe just a touch, maybe all the way around to the right. Staying in this forward fold configuration. And then walk your hands over to the left hand side. Again, staying nice and low, just feeling a gentle twist in the spine. Walk yourself back up. Take your hands back behind you. Take your feet to the floor. Gently windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. We'll think about setting this same shape up for the second side. So left knee is going to come underneath once you've finished with your swishing of legs. We'll set up left leg underneath, right leg on top. Don't be alarmed if the shape looks really different on this side. Take any adjustments that you need. Remember, you can always extend the left leg. Then decide what you're going to do with your feet. You can keep the heels close to your hips so you can walk your feet up so they are pulling more on the legs and the hips here. As you inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your left hand, take it behind the neck or between the shoulder blades. Reach your right hand around the back body, either to the base of the spine or snuggling it up to reach towards your t-shirt or your fingers. And remember, try not to kind of grasp yourself here. Maybe just a little gentle high five of the pinky finger. And a wee rock. Maybe some forwards and backwards, maybe some side to side. Just to explore this shape in your shoulders and your hips. Into stillness for the last couple breaths. And then release the hands to the floor, walk yourself into a wee forward fold. And maybe you find now that your hips are a little warmer that you can come a little further. This is where props are really handy. You can bring your forearms down to the props. Push your breath into your hips here. So if you're feeling this is really spicy, a little too loud for your liking, then try and soften it first of all with your inhale. Keep yourself a little bit walk round to the left hand side. And then walk yourself around to the right. Come back round, take your hands back behind you. This time we're going to extend the legs straight out in front of us and lean backwards, maybe bobbing the knees up and down. Maybe pointing and flexing the feet. And from here, take a nice bend into your knees and take your heels to the floor so toes are lifted. You might want to have your bolster nearby for this, but let's start without it. And then draw yourself forward until your belly reaches your thighs. So you may need to bring the knees a little higher up, depending on how our hamstrings are feeling. Have a bit of space between the heels, maybe reaching towards the inside of the feet. Maybe even taking your armpits towards your knees if that feels good. And then take your hands to the outside edges of your feet. So you've got a good grasp of them, as if we're in a kind of seated happy baby. And send your gaze forward, getting as low and snugly as you can. Start to walk your sit bones backwards and try and keep your chest or your belly or both in contact with the thighs, and stop at the point at which things start to get really spicy and you can't move further back without releasing your chest from your legs. You got two options here. You can either stay with this suspension of the knees, or you can slide a wee cushion or a bolster underneath it so you've got that support. And if you do that and then come back into the shape and you're suddenly not attached to your knees, then do the same trick again, taking your heels nice and close to the bum, chest to the thighs, and walk your bum backwards. And then from here, allow your head to soften. Let the back of the neck get really long. You can keep your hands on your legs if you want to, or your feet, or you can bend your elbows, pressing them into your shins, and cradle your skull. Maybe your chin, whatever feels better. You might find that the longer you're in this shape, the more space you find in your hamstrings and your calves and your hips. So don't feel the need to stay static. You can always jiggle around, lengthen out a little more. So forward fold shapes, anything where you're hinging from your hips or where your head is leading down towards the ground. These are all restorative and pacifying poses. And I usually chuck them in towards the end of class. But after a really sunny weekend and the busy madness that is this time of year, spring coming to summer, I feel like it's good to bring the restorative in early on. Soothe, massage your nervous system. If you find after a really long, busy day at work or just general life, if you're feeling stressy or you're still full of energy but you need to rest, anything like this, any shape like this where you're hinging forward is a really nice, soft, pacifying option for you. Let's take another 6 breaths here. Can you find any more space? Can you walk your sit bones any further back? Okay, let's start to bring ourselves out of the shape. Slowly come to a seat. Let your shoulders drift down the back. Take a wee moment just sitting here, hands on knees, legs straight. And come to lie all the way down on your back. And if you have got your bolster here, keep it here. If you've not, maybe just grab it and slide it underneath your knees now. Come to lie down. Let your palms rest by the side of the body, facing upwards. Taking a very brief Shavasana, very brief corpse pose before we take our next shape. And from here, we're going to stay on our backs, but take your feet to touch. So we're coming into Baddha Konasana or Supta Baddha Konasana. For some of you, the placement of the bolster is going to be perfect, and that's going to feel like a really nice, supportive shape. For others, this might feel pretty numb, like there's nothing going on in the hips. And if you're in that category, pull your bolster up really close to your bum, and then take your heels really close to the other side of the bolster so that you've got a much shorter shape. And then maybe even think about your lower back flattening out by lifting your hips, taking a little tilt of the pelvis so the pelvis faces upwards, and then lying the back down on the ground. Nice. You can keep your hands by your side if you want to, or if you'd like to get a bit more expansive, grab onto opposite elbows. Framing your head with your arms. Okay, from here, take both of your feet to the floor. Nice bend to the knees. Take your hands by the side of your body. And then extend your arms out wide so your palms are facing up towards the sky. And knock your knees over to the left-hand side. And then a little extra option here, because we've got the support of the bolster, see how it feels to take your left foot on top of either your right thigh or your right knee. Yeah, lovely. And then from here, turn your gaze over to the right-hand side. Again, this might be one of those shapes that feels really loud for some, or might feel perfect for some, or might feel really quiet because of all the support we have from our bolster. So if you're finding that not much is happening in the hips here, just slide your bolster away from underneath you and you'll get a juicier sensation through the hips. Release both of your feet back down to the ground. Shift your hips back into the middle of your mat if they've drifted. Maybe just give your knees a wee wave from side to side. Then allow your knees to land over to the right-hand side. Remember, you can have a bolster underneath your knees here. And you can stay here, or you can take your right ankle on top of the left thigh or left knee. So you've got this kind of lazy number 4 shape. Arms are still extended. Turn your gaze to the left. And if your shoulders have kind of creeped up to your ears, just snuggle them down the mat. Okay, bring your feet back to the floor again. Shift your hips back into the middle, and if you do still have a bolster beneath you, slide it out. And extend your feet away from you. Reach your arms back behind you, point your toes, get long. And then soften all that stretching. Walk your feet over to the left side of your mat, hooking the right leg over your left. And walk your shoulders and your head over to the left side as well. So taking banana asana. Arms can stay extended, so you can grab opposite elbows, or you can reach your left hand to your right wrist. Keep your gaze towards the sky, or close your eyes and send your nose towards the sky. If you're finding that your right hip or right shoulder are really struggling to stay down, then place a gentle weight like a cushion or a block or a bolster on the right hip. Start to shift the shape over to the right side of your mat. So walking your legs over to the right, and then your arms, your head, shoulders. Crossing your left ankle over your right, reaching your right hand to the left wrist, or grabbing opposite elbows. Try and soften as much as you can to this shape. Sort of releasing any effort. Take another 4 breaths like this. And then bring yourself back into the center. And think about how you'd like to set yourself up for Shavasana. Making sure you're warm. You've got no big bright lights in your face. Lovely setups, everyone. And from here, allow yourself to sink into the shape that you've chosen. Think of the surfaces that support you like sand, soft but reassuring. Imagine that when you move from this shape, there's an imprint of your body left, where you've been held by the ground or the sofa or whatever that's holding you. Allow the tension to release from your body. Like ice melting. Unfurl any clenched fingers or toes. Enjoy the negative space around your body, between your fingertips, the spaces between your arms and your torso, your legs and the ground. Allow your breath to come naturally and steadily. Give yourself permission to rest the next wee while. Let's stay where we are this evening. Allow your breath to deepen just a touch. If you need to wake up, you can bring a bit of movement back into the body. Otherwise, just you stay where you are. Be grateful that you've given yourself time to be present this evening. Time just to move and breathe. A wonderful week, everybody. I hope you feel rested. I will see you all very soon.